Seamless. Greetings, my movie geeks. It has been a long time since I've done a video, and with June being the month that Indiana Jones finally returns to cinemas, I felt I would take this time to rewatch what I deem to be the best trilogy ever put to film. And I suppose I'll tackle the fourth one too. But as you may be aware, I already reviewed Raiders of the Lost Ark a couple of years ago. Watch that review here. So instead, I'm going to go through the most iconic sequence of the film. I know there are numerous, but this one is the best because it's the first, the Golden Idol sequence. What makes this scene great? From pre-production to post, I'm going to look at how the scene was made. Raiders begins with what would become the obligatory transition from Paramount logo to a real mountain location, where a group of explorers are making their way to some unknown ancient destination. I do hope this new film has a similar transition, maybe from the Disney castle to a real castle. The threat of some unseen danger, a betrayal, and an old map are all introduced before we even see Indiana Jones' face. One of the best character introductions to be filmed ever. There we enter the cave. For pre-production, Spielberg got artists to create detailed storyboards for Raiders. These included the Golden Idol scene and escaping the temple. For Raiders, Spielberg created storyboards that showed stick figures to develop his vision for the film. He would then give these to artists and they would convert these to final storyboards. Now the storyboards have the look Spielberg wants even before the camera needs to roll. The script finished along with the storyboards, and their completion means that the director and the crew can begin production. For the Golden Idol sequence, a set was produced at Elstree Studios, and this was used for the temple shooting location, with some external shoots being undertaken in Kauai Island in Hawaii. It's the job of the set design to transport the audience from their seats to the Peruvian temple, even though the set is a soundstage at Elstree in the UK. But stepping aside, the temple is seamlessly transitioned, looking as though they are deep inside a cave that hasn't been traversed for a long time. Cobwebs cover the area and spiders await as Indy and Satipo go looking for the treasure. Did you know the look of Indiana Jones was based on Charlton Heston's character Harry Steele from The Secret of the Incas? Also, the opening sequence in the Temple of the Golden Idol was inspired by the 7th issue of Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge, The 7 Cities of Gold, written by Carl Barks. Well, now you do, and now you know movies. Looking at the exterior of the set in Elstree Studios, you can see how there are individual areas for the temple. Norman Reynolds was the production designer, and he made sure that the sets looked authentic and tangible. So Spielberg and Douglas Slocombe, the cinematographer, were able to freely frame and capture the image that they wanted. And I'll admit that when I first saw this as a kid, it all looked terribly real. And I say tangible because I can pick a number of films released recently that don't have that tangibility to them because the actors are acting against nothing, just a green screen. You could argue this is where Kingdom of the Crystal Skull falters, and I probably would. Now that we've mentioned tangibility, we can look at how the practical effects work to give a sense of real danger, as well as bringing this place into reality. Spielberg wanted this film to come across as a classical serial adventure, and as such wanted to utilise as much practical effects as possible. This was down to Reynolds along with ILM's VFX team to work together to ensure the elements seen on set were authentic and real. Mise-en-scène is as essential as the set design and visual effects, be that practical or digital, because this is what the latter must fit in with. If the effects on set design do not fit with the mise-en-scène, they will stand out rather than blend in. Again, this is where a lot of newer films seem to be relying too heavily on digital and not blending in with the tangible. But fortunately for Spielberg, there was a VFX team that had just wrapped on Star Wars, but where that film had a lot of special effects, the Raiders opening sequence doesn't have too many. There is, however, the arrows, the fiberglass boulder, and the prosthetic impaled Sapito. Did you know the original idea for the fertility idol was to have the eyes follow Indiana Jones around the room? As such, the one the props department built had mechanical eyes. Where are you, Indiana Jones? Now we have the set design, the props, the effects, and they all work together to give us a seamless and real-looking temple. As the scene is heavily storyboarded, Spielberg and Slocombe had already mapped out how they were going to shoot the scenes. This planning allowed them to begin the shooting quickly, as they already knew where they wanted to get the shot from. So the scenes crafted, the shots positioned using the storyboards. It was down to Slocombe to add his own visual style to bring the scene to life. Earlier we saw quick cuts to introduce Indiana Jones to the audience, and the visual construction contrasts with the shots within the temple. Not only utilizing longer takes and dolly movements in and out to create a sense of tension, they are used to show Sapito convey his relief. But then the composition changes again when Indy makes his way to the idol and is able to swap it out with the bag of sand, which always looked a little too light to me. And the pace and the framing of the film changes again. And using one dolly shot as Indy runs through the chamber, and the shots are locked down and short, which helps to escalate the pacing. This increases how the action being played out on screen is conveyed. But it's all well and good getting the shots. It comes down to editing. And Michael Kahn is an absolute genius when it comes to editing. Utilizing Spielberg's storyboards and the visuals that Slocombe paced, Kahn was able to craft an amazing story with these shots. Utilizing several J cuts as well as the occasional L cuts, Kahn used these editing techniques to help the sequences flow. When Indy exchanges the sand for the idol sinks and triggers the booby traps. Ben Burt, the sound designer, created the sound effects, and it's these sound effects that hint at something dangerous that's about to happen. We then jump cut to a wide shot of Indy realizing that the temple is starting to fall down and crumble. The slow pace we've been used to is now over, and a wilder, frantic pace takes its place for the rest of the sequence. A similar J-cut is used as Indy realizes there's a sound behind him, and as with the temple chamber, there's a jump cut to a wide shot to reveal the boulder beginning to roll towards Indy. So despite having the storyboards and the shots to work with, Kahn had to implement his edit to ensure that what was on screen made sense. He utilized a specific editing technique that signaled the next cut and made the scene flow and give the audience a full and entertaining experience. Finally, we get to the music. No scene is complete without music, and having legendary composer John Williams composing your music makes things easier. As we can see, the cinematographer and the editor utilize the pacing of the film to give the audience an exciting experience. What moves them? Williams does the exact same with the score. As Kahn used specific cuts and edits, Williams uses the right music at the right time, the right moment to guide the audience through the scene.
Hurry. There is nothing to fear here.
Using this music to break the suspense, he allows the music to build along with the tension on screen, and the crescendo then breaks the tension. The music matches the action that's happening on screen, with the spiders seemingly having their own motif. Danger being hinted at through the music, but being unseen on screen. As Indy is getting the idol, the music swells to a crescendo and then breaks as he has it. We hold our breath, just like Sepito on screen. And then the danger returns, the idol drops, and the music changes, having the brass section rise and increase. The score increases the pace. Escaping the temple, the music changes yet again as he's chased by the indigenous tribe. Then we hear the Raiders march as he swings into the river. It's iconic and one of the best opening sequences in film history ever made. And knowing where and how to use the right music is crucial to telling the story. And Spielberg and Williams' collaboration here helps tell the sequence's story. This whole sequence is almost like a short film, a short story, but it also sets up the rest of the film. The opening sequence of Raiders of the Lost Ark is a masterclass of filmmaking. From pre-production to the storyboards, the set design, the music, the sound design, and editing, all of this comes together in a breathtaking sequence that is one of the best ever put to film. But the takeaway is that planning is needed to go into everything. And what is your favourite scene from Raiders? There are a few to choose from. The opening sequence, recruiting Marion, to the truck chase with the Ark, or even the finale. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. And next week, we're going to be doing Temple of Doom. So I'll get my hat, got my jacket, let's go.
I think that somebody believes the good luck rock from this village is one of the lost Shankara stones.
What is Sankara?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.